Fixed Object Program at JPL. Researchers have since pieced together what happened. The most telling information came from a network of infrasound sensors operated by the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty Organization. Their purpose is to monitor nuclear explosions. Infrasound is a type of very low-frequency sound wave that only elephants, homing pigeons, and a few other animals can hear. It turns out that meteors entering Earth's atmosphere cause ripples of infrasound to spread through the air of our planet. By analyzing infrasound records, it is possible to learn how long a meteor was in the air, which direction it traveled, and how much energy it unleashed. The Russian meteor's infrasound signal was detected by multiple stations, including one in Alaska more than 6,500 kilometers from Chelyabinsk. Western Ontario professor of physics Peter Brown analyzed the data. The asteroid was about 17 meters in diameter and weighed approximately 10,000 metric tons, he reports. It struck Earth's atmosphere at 40,000 miles per hour and broke apart about 12 to 15 miles above Earth's surface. The energy of the resulting explosion exceeded 470 kilotons of TNT. For comparison, the first atomic bombs produced only 15 to 20 kilotons. Based on the trajectory of the fireball, analysts have also plotted its orbit. It originally came from the asteroid belt, about 2.5 times farther from the Sun than Earth, says Cook. Comparing the orbit of the Russian meteor to that of 2012 DA-14, NASA orbit analysts have shown that there is no connection between the two. These are independent objects, Cook says. The fact that they reached Earth on the same day, one just a little closer than the other, appears to be a complete coincidence. Infrasound records confirm that the meteor entered the atmosphere at a shallow angle of about 20 degrees and lasted more than 30 seconds before it exploded. The loud report, which was heard and felt for hundreds of miles, marked the beginning of a scientific scavenger hunt. Thousands of fragments of the meteor are now scattered across the Ural countryside, and a small fraction have already been found. Preliminary reports, mainly communicated through the media, suggest that the asteroid was made mostly of stone with a bit of iron. In other words, a typical asteroid from beyond the orbit of Mars, says Cook. There are millions more just like it. And that is something to think about as the cleanup in Chelyabinsk continues. For more news about things coming out of the blue, visit science.nasa.gov.
Fabulous. Just absolutely fabulous there. And it just shows that that was one heavy. Now, you can imagine how that would scare the living daylights out of us if it hit our atmosphere and came down on us. Fortunately, we were spared from this thing. But wow, they're saying that was a huge asteroid, big. But wow, just check that out. Anyhow, that's a lot of stuff, and that, my friends, is interesting indeed. Now let's get into another interesting story coming out, and this is another one. I think it's from the same area, Chelyabinsk. They're saying this is an interesting story. Residents in that same area where that meteorite hit 2 years ago, now they're seeing something as bizarre as blue snow. Yeah, blue snow. This is coming out of residents out of Russia. They say that the bizarre weather phenomenon in Chelyabinsk, the Russian Urals, sparking fears the snow was contaminated with some toxic material. Some locals complain of having sore throats after coming into contact with the snow in an industrial area on the outskirts of town. And I'm looking at this going, wow, this is blue snow. The Vychex company, which reassured residents that the colorant does not pose any health threats, according to Life News. The yesterday local media reported that people's concern, and the news presenter Alexandria Artemanova from Telefax said that she felt a sweet taste in her mouth simply from standing near snow. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, she added that the people have been complaining of sore throats after passing near it. It was also reported that the government did not respond in this case. Blue snow. Post this too. This is bizarre, people. Outside bizarre. Wow. Anyhow, on to bigger, better things. You're listening to Way Out There on GJRB. I'm Gary J. Russin. Hope you're having a good one today. Got more stuff coming up throughout the afternoon. We're going to be here till 5:30 Central Time. Just talking at you right here on a Friday afternoon. And then going to take a day off. I'm going to upload some podcasts throughout the weekend, including Bible study, which is coming up this weekend. Interesting Bible study last night, and I'll be posting that later. And let's see what else coming up. Let's see Bible study. The Best of the Gary Russell program won't be on until the top of March. Like I said before, once a month for the Best of the Gary Russell program with frequent repeats throughout the month. And let's see, that's pretty much it. Gary J Sports page will be on the 1st of March, and I'll be keeping track of the spring season and spring training in baseball. So watch out for that one on the GJRB public site. And like I said before, you can respond to things I'm talking about here on GJRB Online. Just get into our Spreaker site there and go into the chat rooms. I'll have them open. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that before I get into our break. And do that so that you can be aware that you can be part of the show. I talk all throughout the show, but we'd like to hear from you if you have any comments about what I'm talking about. If you have anything that you'd like to bring upon, we'd love to hear from you. All you got to do is get on if you're a Facebook follower, just look at you'll see the posting. Every time I'm on the air, a new posting comes up on the Facebook page with my show and the widget. And all you gotta do is go into that. If you are following me on Twitter, very simple, the same way. If you see a widget come up, all you gotta do, you'll see my radio logo up, right? You'll see the radio logo up. For GJRB, it's the old Cathedral Radio shows up. Right next to it, it'll say our show episode number. And this is Way Out There Part 2. And just click the down arrow there. It'll get you to the media. And you can post your comments there too. And I will read them on the air. And respond on the air. I'm looking at it right now. Way Out There 22015 Part 2. And I click the down media. Shows the live widget. Says what time I went on. 23:50. There, I guess they go GMT. And you click that little thing there. It takes you right to my live chat page on my Spreaker public site. So if you'd like to join me and say hello and click on that text, you'll get right into my live chat room, and you can be on. It's like being on the air with me by phone. Only difference is I just read what you typed and respond to it on the air. That's simple, and you too can be part of that. Now coming up, I'm asking the question. Do you believe in all that superstition? Do you believe in Friday the 13th? Does Friday the 13th scare you? Does Friday the 13th the bad luck things happen to you on that day? Do you get fearful of Friday the 13th? You're not never schedule a point. Don't skip. You ever skip scheduling appointments on that day, just because you have that fear of that day? We're going to talk about that next on Way Out There, and that will be with a guy named Mitch Horowitz. He was on a recent Coast to Coast show with Dave Schrader talking about this around February 13th. This was last Friday night. And talking about, he wrote a book called The Occult in America, and talking about the history of superstition. So we're going to get into that in this next segment. You're going to love this. It's pretty good. And we're going to talk about vaccinations as well. We were talking about that about a couple weeks ago. And what do you think? Do you think you're going to get your child inoculated? I think you should, personally. I think it's important. There's a measles outbreak that was going on. People who were visiting Disney World. There's all kinds of epidemics out there, and it's good to get inoculated. I just recently got my flu shot here about a month ago, so I'm good. I got that at my doctor's office. So, I mean, it's suggested that you do, and we'll talk about that coming up throughout here on GJRB Online. I'm Gary J. Rustin. I hope you're enjoying the show. It's called Way Out There. And I got another interesting story, too. I'm going to try to get on before we get off today. I had it on before, but I was trying to broadcast it live, and it didn't come out. So I'm going to play for you again a man who, this is from the Linda Moulton House Earth Files, about a man who came in contact with an alien, ugly-looking creature that chased him for a bit. And he describes it, and we're going to play it for you on this coming segment. And a whole lot more. So stay with me. This is Way Out There on GJRB. Be right back. Spring. Sunny, warmer weather, flowers blooming, and so are the programs on GJRB with the Spring Spectacular. More of your favorite news shows like Gary J. Sports Page and Bible Study. More ongoing shows like Up and Coming and its franchise shows. Big bands with Swing Time. Classic radio shows with Radioland. Trivia Fun with Gary J's Radio and Television Classics. I'll have more music shows, including Rock and Roll Classic Oldies with Gary J's Good Times Great Oldies Show. And a Great Adult Standards with Music and Memories, with such artists as Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Patti Page, and more. I'll be taking phone calls live soon on the Gary Russell Program, and have guests on my talk shows, including the Gary Russell Program, Gary J. Sports Page, and guests talking about the supernatural, UFOs, and government conspiracies on Way Out There. Spring is busting out all over during the GJRB Spring Spectacular, starting March 2nd on GJRB.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Hey, all right, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Watch. Pray. For we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy, New World Order, terrorism, economic collapse, wars, pest, Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, end-time headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org.